And this how we gonna do it. So crazy right now.
Your station, your heartbeat. Oxygen FM 96.9 Ibadan. Oxygen.
A few years ago, a school proprietor walked into his school compound on a Monday morning. As he stood by the assembly ground, he noticed something that he had never really paid attention to before. The classrooms were not empty, but they were not full either. The primary 1 class had a few vacant seats. The JSS1 class also had a few vacant seats. The nursery section had even more vacant seats. Nothing dramatic, so to speak. Nothing alarming. Just a few empty seats here and there. He shrugged and continued with his day. After all, the economy was tough. Things were biting hard. Many schools were facing similar challenges. But what he failed to realize was that those empty seats were trying to tell him a story. The following year, there were a few more empty seats. A year later, even more empty seats. Gradually, the school began cutting back on activities. Some teachers left and were not replaced immediately. Maintenance was postponed. Staff morale declined. Parents began noticing, and then something happened that many school leaders never see coming. The problem was no longer enrollment. The problem had become reputation. Parents began asking, what's happening in that school? What started as a few empty seats had quite become a cycle. Fewer students led to fewer resources. Fewer resources affected quality. Reduced quality affected reputation. And reputation affected enrollment. The tragedy was that the crisis did not begin when the classrooms became half empty. It began when the first few empty seats appeared and nobody paid attention, including the owner of the school. Ladies and gentlemen, every empty seat tells a story. The question is, what story are the empty seats in your school trying to tell you? Good afternoon, Ibadan. Welcome to the Professional Edge, Education Unlocked. I'm Akin Akinade. This is Oxygen FM 96.9 Ibadan, where we inform, inspire, and ignite. Today, we are going to examine a question that is becoming increasingly important for both private and public school leaders. Low enrollment. Why are parents not bringing their children to your school? But before we begin, let me say something that may surprise you. Low enrollment is rarely the real problem. More often than not, it is a symptom of a deeper issue. Now, let me share with you some unintended consequences of low enrollment, because you may not come to appreciate it, especially public school principals. The idea is that your salary will not go down because you have low enrollment. But for private schools, low enrollment means loss of income. Let me just quickly share with you some of the unintended consequences of low enrollment. Number one, your reputation begins to suffer. Whether we like it or not, people make judgments. When parents see a school with declining enrollment, questions begin to arise. Is something wrong? Are parents leaving? Has quality dropped? Even when those assumptions are inaccurate, perception can become a reality. And as they often say, everything is about perception. Consequence number two, staff morale begins to go down, to decline. Teachers notice, other members of staff notice, and human beings naturally want to belong to something that is growing. When enrollment continues to decline, uncertainty increases, enthusiasm decreases, motivation suffers. Consequence number three, resources become stretched. For private schools, fewer students often mean less revenue. For public schools, it may mean reduced attention, reduced influence, or reduced justification for certain allocations. In public schools, the number of students in your school will determine the number of grants government is going to give you, or the amount of grant government will give you. Either way, fewer resources can affect programs, facilities, and opportunities. Consequence number four, the school loses its place in the community. This is the most emotional one. Every great school occupies a special place in the hearts of families. But when fewer students choose a school year after year, that school gradually loses influence, feasibility, and relevance within this community that it is situated. The danger is not merely fewer students. The danger is becoming forgettable. And this is why today's discussion matters. Because low enrollment is not merely about numbers. It is about reputation. It is about trust. It is about sustainability, financial sustainability. It is about leadership. It is about whether a school is becoming more attractive or less attractive to the families it exists to serve in that community. Every empty seat tells a story. The question is, what story is your school telling? And perhaps, even more importantly, what stories are parents telling about your school when you are not there? When you are not there is what matters. It is not what they say in your presence. One of my friends once told me, he said, it is only your friend that will tell you that your mouth is smelling. Others will say it behind you. Joining me today to explore those questions together is a consultant, education consultant. He doesn't like to be called a chief, though he looks like a chief. He doesn't like titles. He just loves to be called coach. So I call him Coach Funsho Ezekiel Mujuba, FEM, an enthusiastic, award-winning and practical teacher by training and calling. He has been in the teaching profession as a teacher and consultant for years. He has been privileged to hold different leadership, administrative, and managerial positions within and outside the teaching profession. Funsho Mujuba is the lead consultant of Impact Field Educational Consult, an organization that offers the nitty-gritty of training, empowerment, and educational consulting. He's the founder and coordinator of the Teachers Arise Forum, online platforms with thousands of educators and school leaders as its members. Join me to welcome Coach Funsho Ezekiel Mujuba. As my father and the Lord will always say, Coach Funsho is the husband of one wife and is blessed with children. Today, I'm welcoming you to Oxygen FM Ibadan.
All right, Mr. Akin Ade, thank you so much for having me here. And I want to sincerely appreciate you for the great work you do towards the growth of educators and the improvement of the education sectors, not in Oyo State alone, but in Nigeria as a whole. So I want to say thank you so much, sir, and thank you also for having me here today. It is a privilege I don't take for granted. Thank you once again, sir.
You are welcome. Today's a story all about leadership, reputation, trust, and the future of your school. So I want to invite all school owners, principals, school leaders, policymakers to take a seat. If you are a owner of a school, if you are a principal or an administrator, even a vice principal or a teacher, I haven't tell people that there is actually no formal training institute. You go to specially before becoming a principal. You get there by promotion. But you gain as you learn along the line, along the road. Today is another opportunity for you to prepare for the role later in life. So let me ask my first question to our guest. Can a school have an enrollment problem when the real issue is actually a trust problem?
That's a very big question. A very big question. And my first answer would be absolutely yes. Yes. And why did I say so? It's important we know today as stakeholders in the education sector. You are a teacher, you are a school leader, you are a consultant, irrespective of the vital role you play in the sector called education, we must understand that indeed trust actually plays a vital role when it comes to enrollment. And one of the reasons why I'm saying this, we should know today that enrollment problems are trust problems in disguise. One of the things we must know today, a school is seen as a second home to every learner. Yes, we know that when a child is leaving his or her parents' home, that is the home where such a child stays, coming to a school. So we all know as stakeholders in this sector that such a child is leaving his main home for another home. And the people such a child is coming to meet are actually known as second parents. So before our parents will conclude to actually render their precious and one of the most important being or thing in their lives to any school, the foundation is trust, sir. Is trust. And trust in what area? A parents would like to know how safe is your school, mentally, emotionally, environmentally, how safe can their children be when they actually come around bringing their children to your school? So this question of trust needs to be well answered before a parent will decide, can I actually bring my child to the school? So we should know that before they consider facilities, that's parent, uniforms, or even academic result, they are subconsciously asking, can I trust these people? That is you as a school leader, you as a teacher, you even, sir, I usually say to people, starting from the gatekeeper, the receptionist, because all these actually work together as a team to ensure the safety of a child. So if all these people will answer the question of trust, it is after that enrollment cannot come in, sir.
Thank you. That's interesting. Many school owners believe trust is built through academic excellence. They often believe erroneously that once their school is performing well academically, then there is no problem with them. So let me ask this. Are you suggesting that parents can lose trust even when academic results are good?
Absolutely. Yes. One thing we should know also, every school, yes, normally the primary thing every school strives to have is academic excellence. Yes, every reasonable school strives to have academic excellence, but we must also know that trust is emotional before it is academic. Trust is emotional before it is academic. Parents notice whether communication is transparent. Parents notice how complaints are handled. Parents also notice whether promises are consistently fulfilled. So they notice how their children feel about coming to school. Now we should know that normally a child should be safe to learn before academic excellence comes in. It is the safety of a child mentally. It is the safety of a child emotionally. It is the safety, as a matter of fact, it is overall safety of a child combines together that determine if a child will excel academically or not. So if a child is coming to school, how happy is a child when a child hears the name of a teacher? How happy is a child when a child hears the name of school? So when all these are actually not in place, I think we need to actually, we need more work to do. So my answer to the question, sir, will be, it's possible to be excellent academically and trust is not in place. So trust actually comes before excellence in academic is actually put in place.
So in other words, you are saying that parents notice how their children feel about coming to school, and trust is built through hundreds of small interactions that we may not even consider important, right?
Yes. I can say yes to that.
So if trust is built through small interactions, how does a school unknowingly destroy trust? It's one thing to know what you are doing, but some people may not even know it. They may not even know it. They are not even conscious of the fact that they are destroying trust. So how could a school be doing it without knowing? Let's say they are innocently wrong.
All right, thank you. Now, I'm going to answer this by letting every stakeholder to know that trust often dies slowly. It dies slowly. And how do I mean? How does it die slowly? What are the things that school stakeholders do through which it is becoming evident that trust is gradually dying? Firstly, when a parent calls and nobody answers, is one of the areas through which we can know that gradually trust is dying in a school.
That seems unimportant. Somebody calls and there was nobody to pick it. It looks so simple.
Yes, right? It actually looks so simple. If I were to be a parent in a school, and to some extent I call, you actually, though nobody answers, to me it actually goes beyond picking a phone and answering a call. Now if I call you, I may call to actually lay a complaint. I may call to actually express my dissatisfaction. I may actually, in fact, sir, sending a message to let you know how I feel, how happy, how unhappy I am regarding what you're doing, regarding the services you offer, regarding how my child is being treated, and my desired response is not given. We can actually liken that to this. So that is one of the areas through which gradually, slowly, trust dies. And another area, an issues reported and no feedback is given, is also similar to what I just said. It's also similar to what I said. Now, one thing we should know, several schools today see some parents that they complain too much. One thing school leaders should know when it comes to school management, parents that complains rather is a parent that actually wants to stay. Is a parent that wants to stay.
A parent that complains
is a parent that wants to stay. The day I stop complaining, it shows gradually I am actually I'm actually making up my mind towards something.
Emotionally, you have actually
left
the school.
I have left. I'm still staying due to one reason or the other best known to me. So that's why it's important, no matter how a parent complains, a school shouldn't handle it with levity. And let me also say this, sir, and thank God for a topic like this that this program is bringing. School leaders should know that this is a decision-making term for parents. This is third term. Gradually, the session is coming to an end. So as of this third term, several parents are actually making up their mind and decision to know if their children are staying or are not staying. Several parents had actually endured the incompetence of several schools, first term, second term. But this third term, decision will be made. So, and how would they make decision? Through some of the things we're discussing.
This sounds dangerous to me, because many school leaders may not even know trust is declining. When you look at the seemingly unimportant things, like not picking your calls, you compare, my son or daughter came home with bruises on her head, you have no explanation, you are not following up, you are not asking after the child, and people will say, that man complains too much. Don't forget, the customer is the king. That was one of the first things I learned in business. Your customer cannot complain too much, and the one that complains is the one that loves you so much. So, as little as this is, these little signs are school owners who should learn to take care of them. Now, let me ask this: what signs indicate that parents are beginning to lose trust in a school? You see, it's one thing to know that maybe they are complaining. How would you know? There are subtle signs that you can see, and you may not take note of it. So I'm asking you, how would parents know that a parent is about to leave by their attitude?
You see, one of the biggest signs is silence. Is silence.
They won't talk again. Yes. They won't complain again.
They won't complain. Of course, due to reasons best known to them. For instance, maybe a parent has a child in what we call exiting class.
Okay.
Maybe in a primary school now, the exiting class should be 5 and 6. In junior secondary school, JSS3. In senior secondary school, SS3. So because of reasons known to them, maybe this is third term now. Some parents may not see the reason why they should actually pick a school from a school to another school. But they had actually made up their mind that what they're going to do actually lies in their heart. So some of them may still be around, but they may not even see anything. And another thing they may actually tend to do, they may actually stop giving referrals.
That's important.
They may stop giving referrals, and school leaders should know that one of the biggest ambassadors, one of the biggest marketers that actually work towards the growth of your school, they are your parents. They play a vital role, especially when parents are really ready to support you through the excellence and amazing things you offer them. But when trust is beginning to actually reduce, you may not enjoy parental referrals again. Another thing, attendance at school events declines. Now, for instance, during your PTA meeting, some of them may not see the reason why they should attend some of your meetings again.
Because they're already planning to leave your school.
Because they're about to leave. That their prayer is that, oh my God, this session should end.
I can't wait to let this session end.
This term should end. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually offer my child a better school. So with this, they may not see the reason to attend some of your meetings again. They may not see. And another point I want to raise is engagement actually reduces. Engagement reduces. How does engagement actually reduce? Some of the vital suggestions, some of the vital things they can contribute. And for your information, some of these parents are wise. Some of them are knowledgeable. Some of them have vital things to actually offer your school. But by the time they realize that you are a school leader or you are an educator who is not really ready to learn or to actually buy their positive ideas, I can't deceive you, sir. Parents may tend to reduce engagement.
Thank you. Let me ask what may be an uncomfortable question. Are parents actually leaving school, or are they simply refusing to recommend your school?
What a great question, sir. This is what happens, sir. You see, many schools actually focus on retention. They focus on retention. And smart schools don't just focus on retention. They focus on advocacy. One of the things schools should actually work on, don't just work on retention. Because we should know that those who you are retaining, either you like it or not, one day they will leave. They will leave. So the strategies, the wisdom through which enrollment actually comes in should be worked upon. The strategies for increment, the strategies for population increase shouldn't be handled with levity. So you don't just focus on retention alone. So back to the question you are actually raising. So is parents may stay because changing school is inconvenient. So I think that answer the question, sir.
So the retest is, would parents confidently recommend your school to a friend? If they don't, what happens?
That means there is a trust gap somewhere, sir.
And enrollment will just keep going down.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and before you know it, the school is becoming empty. What I'm hearing from this discussion is something very important. Enrollment is not simply a marketing issue. It is often a trust issue. And trust can be damaged by poor communication, poor first impression, inconsistent service, broken promises, lack of feedback, and even staff attitude. More importantly, the absence of complaints does not always mean the presence of trust. Some people are just quiet because they're already on their way out. Emotionally, they have left your school. Sometimes parents are simply becoming silent. Dear school owners, this is our first masterclass takeaway number 1 for today. Trust is the currency of enrollment. Parents do not merely buy education, they buy confidence. The moment trust begins to decline, enrollment eventually follows. Let me repeat this. The moment trust begins to decline, enrollment eventually follows. Now that you have established that trust matters, another question emerges. What if your school is actually good, but parents cannot see it? When we come back from this short break, we shall be talking about visibility. Earlier, we established that trust is the currency of enrollment. But another challenge exists. Some schools are trustworthy. Some schools are producing results. Some schools are doing excellent work. Yet, enrollment remains low, which raises an important question. Can a school be excellent and still struggle because it is invisible? Let me follow. So that's the question for my guest. Can a school be excellent but invisible?
Yes, will be my answer. Absolutely yes. In fact, some of the best schools are losing enrollment because they are invisible.
Some of the best schools are losing enrollment because they are invisible. Nobody is seeing them.
They are actually doing wonderfully great work inside their classrooms. Their students are thriving. They are known for excellence. The teachers are working so hard, but the community doesn't know. Parents cannot appreciate what they cannot see. Why? Excellence that is hidden often goes unnoticed and unrewarded.
That's interesting. Are you suggesting that quality alone is no longer enough?
Yes, quality remains important, but quality without visibility creates a problem. And how do I mean, sir? Parents cannot choose a school they know nothing about. We should know that. Today's schools must learn how to communicate their values to their community, in fact, not even to the community alone. We are beginning to go global, so several schools should begin to learn how to actually go global. And how do I mean? How can they go global? So we're going to discuss that.
When you say visibility, many people immediately think about advertising. Yes, I'm looking for advertisers too. Is visibility bigger than advertising?
You see, in this, I don't want to say in this generation, but in this time we had actually found ourselves, visibility goes beyond advertising. And how do I mean? Okay. So I'm going to mention some of the areas through which can actually go visible, both to their community and to the whole world. And what can they do? If I ask, how is your online presence? Sir, several schools are really doing exceptionally well, but they are not known. Several schools are doing wonderfully well. They are known for academic excellence. In fact, the teachers are working so hard. The teamwork is top-notch. The collaboration is amazing. The school leader is effective in school administration. But aside the parents who knows them to be a functional school, and this is what I'm going to say to school. If I ask a parent today, or let me say school rather, if a parent comes newly to your environment where your school is located and situated, and such a parent tries to look for a reputable school for the child, a boy or a girl that he or she loves, the question, and what some parents tend to do today, they want to go online. Some parents may want to type the first 10 schools that are really doing well, that are academically amazing in this community. Despite all the great things that your school actually does, can your school be found online?
I see. Okay. So what mistakes do schools commonly make regarding visibility?
Okay, the mistakes they make, I'm going to say, just like I said, many of them don't really have online presence. Many of them don't have online presence. If I ask now, how many of these schools actually can be seen on Facebook? How many of them are on social medias? Sir, many of these great things you are doing that people really see you as excellent, post them online. But when all these things are not in place, it shows your visibility is not actually effective enough. It's not effective enough. So not being on social media, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media that will actually make your school known to the global world. So when you're not trying to push this, it actually reduces the visibility of your school.
Thank you. What I'm hearing is that many schools don't have a quality problem. They have a visibility problem. Parents cannot celebrate what they cannot see. Therefore, schools must intentionally communicate their value, showcase their learning, share success stories, and remain visible within their communities. And this brings me to my masterclass takeaway number 2 for today. Dear school owners, here is today's second masterclass takeaway. Excellence is not enough. Excellence must be visible. If parents cannot see your value, they cannot choose your school. Let me repeat it. If parents cannot see your value, they cannot choose your school. If they don't see your value, they don't know what you are doing, you are not communicating with them, you are not sharing your value with them, what you have achieved, that's lack of visibility. They will not know what to do. Trust matters, as we have seen so far. Visibility matters. But there is one factor that may be even more powerful than both. And that is the actual experience parents have with your school. I'm going to turn to my guest now. And my question around this area is, what are parents experiencing that school owners often overlook?
Well, many schools owners evaluate their schools through operations. Parents evaluate school through experiences.
Say that again, sir.
Many schools owners evaluate their school through operations.
Right.
But parents evaluate schools through experiences.
That is how you make them feel when they visit your school. And that reminds me, years back, my uncle said I should go and look for a private school. When I got there, I knocked. The gate man did not open the door for the next 5 minutes. And from that moment, I was pissed off already. And when I entered the school, I saw the proprietor was, unfortunately was in the school that day. And she was talking to a teacher. And she was saying, how would this child fail English? How would the parents feel? Go and find mark for him. Oh, he must not fail. Oh, add mark for him. That pissed me off. I went back to my uncle and told my uncle, your child cannot go to that school. Eventually, that school closed down. Let's go on.
So, let me also add this, sir. One of the mistakes that schools usually make is that when it comes to enrollment or when it comes to our parents coming to make inquiry, several school leaders actually work on excellence upon their teachers alone. They don't know that if I'm going to be convinced to bring my child to your school, the convictions will start from what happens at the gate. The gatekeeper the experience, the convincing experience I'm going to have to actually make my child be part of your school must start from the gate. How does your gatekeeper address people? The receptionist, how do they relate with people before actually going to what happens in the classroom? So that's why he said everyone that works in the school works together through what we call collaboration. So as you are working, enhancing the competence of your classroom teacher, don't forget the non-teaching staffers. It's important. So the experiences, when parents see all this, will actually know if your school is actually doing great work or not.
So if I may ask, what causes parents to stop recommending a school? If you have said earlier on that
Yes, sir.
the parents are your biggest marketers, and if they are not marketing for you, your school may not likely grow as it should. So what causes parents to stop recommending a school? Despite the fact that their kids are still in that school, but they just stop recommending that school to others.
Well, number one, where a parent may stop, just like we said the other time, that parents actually play vital roles in marketing the school, in serving as ambassadors to the growth of your school. But number one, when there is dissatisfaction, of service, what parents expect in your school, the kind of services they expect the school to offer, and it's no longer coming up, such a parent may not really be confident, may not be bold to actually advertise such school to their neighbors, to people around them. That is number one. Secondly, when advices coming from parents to schools are actually not being ignored, such a parent because such a parent also knows that if I should bring my neighbor, if I should bring someone to this school, this kind of service delivery will be what such a school will extend to the parent I am bringing. So this and more may actually lead to the reason why a parent may actually reduce the participation in promoting the school awareness.
Somebody told me that there's a difference between a satisfied parent and a delighted parent. Can you tell me the difference between a satisfied parent and a delighted parent?
A satisfied parent and a delighted parent. That question actually sounds somehow, but is very key to what we are discussing. Now, a satisfied parent stays. Why a delighted parent recruits. And how do I mean by recruits? A parent that is delighted with all that you offer in your school can go at any length to convince other parents to bring children to your school.
Will market your school.
Market your school. They will, in fact, they may even go beyond the mouth marketing. They may even go online, actually doing a lot just to ensure that your school grows the more. Okay. So a delighted parent markets the school. A satisfied parent is quiet. So that's what I'm going to say, sir.
All right. What I'm hearing again is that enrollment growth is not just about attracting new parents. It is also about activating existing parents to market your schools for you. Every school already has a marketing department. It is called its parent community. The question is whether that community is enthusiastic enough to speak positively about the school. And your duty as a school owner is to ensure that you constantly keep your parent community enthusiastic enough to be talking about you, to go out of their way to market your school for you. They are school owners. This is your master class takeaway number 3 for today. Satisfied parents stay. Delighted parents recruit. If parents are not recommending your school, enrollment problems may already be developing beneath the surface. Let me say that again. If parents are not recommending your school, enrollment problems may already be developing beneath the surface. So, as we are moving to the end of this program, this is Oxygen FM 96.9. This is the Professional Hedge Education Unlocked program that is focused or helping you to build not just academically sound schools, but one that is thriving financially so that you can meet all your needs and your investment will not be in vain. We are going to the final segment of this program for today. My question to our guest today is this. Let's assume there's a proprietor listening to us right now, and I know there are many of them, whose enrollment numbers are declining. What 3 things should that school start doing immediately to improve enrollment quickly?
Firstly, I would say school leaders should begin to work towards exceeding parents' expectations. Every reasonable parent bringing child to your school has expectation. If a parent expects at least 70% performance from you, strive by all means to go at least up to 90%. That alone is one of the reasons why a parent will stay. Secondly, communicate proactively. How do I mean? Carry parents along. It takes collaboration to raise great children. You cannot do it alone. If as a matter of fact, those children are in your school, parents actually bring them to your school so that in order for you to work with them. So please communicate proactively. Thirdly, celebrate student progress. When children succeed, when they are progressing, celebrate them and let the parent know that indeed your children are actually progressing. And lastly, I'm going to say, make your parent feel seen, heard, and valued. Value your parent. When parents are valued, is an application to receive more from them.
What I'm hearing is that schools should listen more, communicate better, and make learning visible. Those 3 actions alone can begin changing the enrollment story. And here is our master class takeaway number 4 for today. Dear school owners, here is today's 4th master class takeaway. People support what they understand. When parents feel heard, informed, and confident, enrollment becomes easier. So let's look at the other side of the equation. Sir, what are 3 things schools should stop doing immediately?
Well, as we come to the end of this session, trusting that next session will be better and more productive, I will appeal to school that actually want to see better results. Stop guessing. Stop guessing.
Stop guessing.
Don't guess and start listening. Many schools are actually trying to solve enrollment problems they do not fully understand. So learn to listen. And lastly, I'm going to say, spend more money on marketing, speak with parents, carry your parents along, collaborate with your parents. Some of them have values to offer you. Please carry them along. Carry them along.
What I'm hearing is this. Stop blaming, stop assuming, stop isolating enrollment responsibility. Every staff member is part of the enrollment team, whether they realize it or not. And it's our master class takeaway number 5 for today. Enrollment is not a department, it is a culture. And they say culture is a way of life. Every staff member either attracts families or repels them. And this is my final question for today. Looking ahead, 5 years from now, what will separate schools that are thriving from schools that are struggling?
Well, I'm going to say the first thing schools should stop doing, what will separate school, those are the first thing schools should do. Please, I repeat the question.
I said, looking ahead,
Yes, sir.
5 years from now, what will separate schools that are thriving from schools that are struggling? Because whether we like it or not, in 5 years' time, some schools will close down, while some will still be thriving, in spite of the economic condition of the country.
Well, schools that are striving and schools that will not strive. Firstly, I'm going to say to them, don't blame economic challenges are real, I know that, but schools that are growing in the same economy where others are declining. So don't blame really creates solution. Okay. 5 years from now, schools that thrive will not necessarily be the biggest schools. Of course, I know. They may not even be the most expensive schools. They will be the schools that earn trust consistently. The schools that communicate effectively, the schools that adapt quickly, the schools that understand parents, and the schools that continuously improve. Now, also, I will say this, the future belongs to schools that focus not only on teaching children, but also on understanding families. This is because parents are changing, expectations are changing, technology is changing every day. And lastly, I'm going to say this, the schools that listen, learn, and adapt will thrive. So every school, no matter the challenges you have, learn to adapt.
Learn to adapt. No matter the challenges you are having, learn to adapt. Like I said earlier on, what I'm hearing is that future belongs to schools that remain trusted, visible, adaptable, and responsive to the yearnings of the parents. Schools that continue learning, schools that continue listening, schools that continue improving. And here is our final masterclass takeaway number 6 for today. Dear school owners, here is today's final masterclass takeaway. The future does not belong to the biggest schools. It belongs to the most responsive schools. Schools that listen, adapt, and improve will continue to attract families long into the future. Yes, they will continue to attract customers day in, day out. Today, we have found that low enrollment is rarely caused by one factor. Sometimes it is a trust problem. Sometimes it is a visibility problem. Sometimes it is a parent experience problem. But whatever the cause, one thing is clear. Enrollment growth is not accidental. It is intentional. The schools that earn trust, communicate value, create remarkable parent experiences, and continuously improve will always stand out. Before we leave, let me ask every school owner, principals, administrators, and education leaders listening today a final question. What if your school could increase enrollment without lowering standards? What if you could attract more students without reducing school fees, overcrowding classrooms, compromising discipline, or sacrificing quality? Many schools respond to enrollment challenges by lowering their standards, but is that really the answer? or is there a better way? Join me next week on the Professional Edge Education Unlocked as we examine how to increase enrollment without compromising quality. We will explore how successful schools attract more students, build stronger reputations, communicate their value effectively, and become schools of choice without sacrificing excellence. If today's discussion opened your eyes, next week's conversation will show you the way forward. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for joining us today on the Professional Edge Education Unlocked. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and keep unlocking the future through education. Thank you, my guest.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Mr. Mujuba.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. I wish
Thank
you join
you.
Mercy back to Lagos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your station, your heartbeat. Oxygen FM 96.9 Ibadan.
Can you handle this?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Turn it up, cause it's getting heavy.
I know a place.
And this how we gonna do it.
Put your hands
So crazy right now.
Your station, your heartbeat. Oxygen FM 96.9 Ibadan.
up. Oxygen.